The Lake of Reflections. It was a warm, sunny afternoon at Elderbrook Magic Academy. Birds were singing in the trees, and the smell of flowers floated through the air. The castle looked bright and golden in the sunlight. The lake below sparkled like a mirror, and small ripples danced where the breeze touched the water. Some students were walking along the shore. Others were talking in groups or skipping stones. The third-year students had a special class by the water, boating and water magic. Professor Larkin stood on the wooden pier with his hands behind his back, his long blue robe blowing gently in the wind. His eyes scanned all the students carefully, making sure everyone was ready. "Today," he said loudly, "you will practice rowing with magic. Each boat must move without touching the oars. Use your concentration, not your muscles. Focus and think about where you want the boat to go." Adrian Blackwood, Zoe Whitemore, and Sebastian Crow looked at each other. Zoe smiled. "This sounds fun." Sebastian groaned. "This sounds tiring and boring." Adrian laughed. "Come on, it's just water. What could go wrong?" They climbed into their small wooden boat. The surface of the lake was smooth and calm. A few other groups were already practicing. Some boats moved slowly, others spun in circles. The sunlight reflected on the water, making it shine like silver. Little waves lapped against the boat's side. Zoe pointed her wand at the oars. "Move!" Nothing happened. Sebastian sighed. "Great start. We're already losing." Adrian grinned. "Let me try. Row." The boat suddenly shot forward so fast that Zoe screamed and almost fell out. "Adrian, slow down!" she shouted. "I'm trying. It's not listening." They went in circles for a while until the boat finally stopped near the middle of the lake. Around them, the water was calm and shiny, reflecting the blue sky, white clouds, and the castle towers perfectly. Zoe leaned over the edge. "Look! You can see the castle perfectly in the reflection." Sebastian nodded. "Yeah, it's actually kind of beautiful and peaceful." Adrian frowned. "Wait, what's that under the water?" Something glittered below the surface, like a silver coin or maybe a piece of jewelry. Zoe's eyes widened. "Treasure!" Sebastian groaned. "No, don't even think about it, Zoe." But Zoe was already trying to reach it. "Just a little closer," she said, stretching her arm over the side of the boat. Adrian carefully moved the boat forward. "Almost there." Then suddenly the water started to move by itself. A cold wind blew across the lake, and the reflection of the castle began to twist like soft glass. The surface rippled in strange patterns, and tiny waves splashed over the boat's edge. Sebastian grabbed the edge of the boat. "Something's wrong!" The glittering object rose slowly from the water, not a coin, but a glowing silver stone with strange symbols carved into it. Zoe's eyes widened. "It's beautiful." Adrian said nervously, "Don't touch it, Zoe." But before anyone could move, the stone exploded with light, and a wave of cold air hit them. The boat rocked wildly. "Hold on," Adrian shouted. The water started spinning around them like a small whirlpool. The wind blew harder, and Zoe's hair whipped around her face. Zoe screamed, "We're sinking!" Sebastian pointed his wand. "Stop! Freeze!" To their surprise, the water really froze. The whirlpool stopped, and the boat sat on a thin layer of ice. Everything went quiet. Even the birds had stopped singing. They all stared at Sebastian. He blinked. I didn't mean to do that much." The lake was now half frozen, and other students were staring from the shore. Professor Larkin shouted, "What happened out there?" Adrian tried to wave. "We're fine, just testing ice magic." Zoe giggled nervously. "Yes, very successful test." When they returned to the pier, dripping wet and freezing, Professor Larkin looked very unimpressed. "Who thought it was a good idea to cast ice spells in the middle of the lake?" They didn't say anything. Zoe tried to smile sweetly, but it didn't help. Then another voice called their names. "Mr. Blackwood, Miss Whitemore, Mr. Crow." They turned slowly. Professor Halloway stood there, arms crossed as usual, her black cloak fluttering slightly in the wind. Her voice was calm but sharp. "Would one of you like to explain why half the lake is now frozen solid?" The three friends looked at each other. Adrian said softly, "Teamwork?" Halloway didn't smile. "Detention, all three of you, again." Zoe groaned. "But we almost drowned." "Then you can use detention to reflect on that," Halloway replied. Sebastian whispered, "Reflect, like the lake. Very funny." Adrian laughed quietly as they walked away. Zoe sighed. "Next time we stay on land." Sebastian nodded. "Agreed." Adrian grinned. "Until we see another treasure." Zoe rolled her eyes. "Then we'll just freeze the whole school." They all started laughing. The ice on the lake began to melt slowly, and the reflection of the castle returned, calm and bright again, as if nothing had happened. As they walked back toward the castle, Zoe said softly, "You know, even when things go wrong, it's kind of nice having adventures with you two." Sebastian smirked. "That's because you cause half of them." Adrian smiled. "And survive the other half together." The sun began to set behind the castle, painting the sky orange and pink. The birds started singing again, and the lake looked peaceful. The three friends stopped for a moment, taking a deep breath of fresh evening air. "I like this, even if it's a little dangerous." Sebastian shook his head, but a tiny smile crept across his face. Adrian laughed quietly. "Another perfect day at Elderbrook Magic Academy, and another disaster for the books." The three friends laughed as they disappeared into the castle halls, already talking about what adventures might come next. Another day, and another unforgettable Elderbrook Magic Academy story.